Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And this is our Doctor Who recap show. Look, I've got my Sonic sunglasses on, so we're ready to go. Don't look at the browser history. But I can't read. So, it's much better. So, we finally got our first episode after 18 or so months. Other than the Christmas ones, it's been a while since we finally got a new episode of Doctor Who. And Capaldi's last year.
Yep. Moffat's last year.
Bill's last year.
Maybe.
So we just wanted to do a quick rundown. We're gonna try to do a weekly show of the episode, and then we're also going to talk about Class, which is the newest spin-off set at Coal Hill High School, which is Clara's school. So. First off, let's talk about the Doctor Who episode called The Pilot. Not the pilot, like as in the first episode, but actually like a pilot flying a car. Flying a car?
Okay.
Whatever. It's Doctor Who. So we had this episode. The first thing that happens in the episode, which I thought was super weird, was we haven't had an episode in 18 whatever months other than the Christmas ones. And the first shot is this office with two doors and nobody in it.
Yeah.
What's that first start?
I don't know.
And one was open and one was closed. So it was.
He's opening a new door on his life. Now that Clara's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really weird. And then they showed the desk with River.
And Susan, who is the original companion, his granddaughter,
right? And so that was kind of, and they made reference to that multiple times too. So like they're trying to say something there. So that was kind of interesting. But the episode, I think, like first 25 minutes or so was all about Bill.
Yeah, well, and you have to have some character development because in a lot of the other companions, you were introduced to them before they became a companion.
Right.
So
they were in an episode as random, now appearing in this episode person, right?
So I mean, the very first episode of the new series, the first 5 or 10 minutes is all about Rose, right? Rose at the department store. And
yeah. So it makes some sense. There was a lot of parallels between Bill and Rose. I kept kind of talking about that. We had friends come over and watch it. Hi, Josh Nadri. Come over and watch the show with us, and we kept mentioning like that kind of was. Didn't they do that with Rose? And didn't they do that with Rose? And so there was a lot of that going on.
She's very into chips, Rose loved chips.
Yeah. It's almost like a kind of a homage, kind of something that people have been talking about online. She's gay. Bill's gay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they weren't overt about it.
They weren't overt about it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been one episode. I don't know how I feel about her. I like her matter of factness.
And so a couple things that I read on the internet. People were talking about the fact that she is very happy, and the comment that he makes is that he saw her when she asked why she got pulled into the office, and he said because when I said something that was confusing and everybody else in the class was frowning because they didn't understand, she was smiling, and that's kind of what he needs right now. He needs some happy smiley faces in his life.
Right. The episode was kind of like a 2-part kind of episode. There was all the stuff with Bill, and then there was the big bad monster in the second half. I'm going to put this up. We're not going to try to spoil too much. There's not really much to spoil, but if you haven't watched the episode yet, the next part we're going to talk about is kind of a little spoilery. The big bad monster is a puddle of water. And so water is a reoccurring theme with Moffat as a monster.
Yeah.
The Mars water, and just so that it just kind of going back to some other things that's happened before, at least in this episode, and there was also like an exchange of knowledge between Bill and the monster, where they grabbed hands and Bill was taking down that like celestial thing or whatever. That was kind of interesting. Like, why is all this information kind of given to her? And then there was the whole I know what it's like. I've seen a sci-fi movie before. I know what it's like when the mind's getting wiped.
Yeah.
Or you're taking my memory or whatever. That was kind of a funny line. It was towards the end, and then he kind of kind of knocks her on the chin and says, "All right, get out of here before I change my mind." And then all of a sudden he's outside opening the door to the TARDIS, and they go running in and they're off. Yeah. So no, it's super spoilery, but it was good. Overall, what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was good. It was this last Christmas special, although okay, we were kind of and I thought this was better. This made up a little bit for that, especially with all the jar of sonic screwdrivers and the pictures on his desk, and then some of the comments. The macaroon dispenser. I need a macaroon dispenser in my life. And the do you think your bacon sandwich loves you back? There's a couple of witty.
What did you set the security to the door? Friends only.
Set it to friends only. Yeah.
Friends only. That was a good one.
Yep.
And I cannot remember the guy's name, but he was in the episode of
the River Song, the Husbands of River
Song. The bald head. I cannot remember his name right now. He was in the last Christmas episode, and now he's kind of his assistant, not really a companion, but
he's been in a.
Well, he's going to be in the season.
He's a head. He's a head attached to a robotic body, which they kind of show you a little bit in case you weren't aware of that, because that happened in Husbands of River Song.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, I thought the episode was pretty good. I laughed quite a bit, and I was scared of the water. Again, it's a scary thing. I'm gonna hold out judgment on how I feel overall, because this was it felt for me more of a setup episode for the next 12 or 10 or whatever they end up doing, because this is kind of the beginning of the end for everybody, and so it was kind of a setup. This is kind of how we got Bill. Now let's go. Yeah. And so I overall I think the episode was good, but maybe not one that I'll go back and watch multiple times on.
Yeah, I would give it's a solid B.
Solid B. All right. I thought we were doing numbers.
Sorry. Well, then that would be what, a 4?
Out of 5.
A 4 out of 5?
Sure. All right. We'll go with B.
3.5.
So that was the first episode of this season for that. And then right after that, they showed the pilot episode of Class. And Class is... Okay, so again, Josh and Audrey are over. And about halfway through the episode, Josh leans over and says, "This is Doctor Who, Buffy the Vampire Slayer." And it was like, yep, it's totally what it is. It's set, like we said, at Coal Hill High School, which is Claire's school. They actually even show the board. It says C. Oswald on the board. Is one
and
of the
Danny Pink.
And Danny Pink.
His name was before hers.
So that was kind of a nice little touch. And Capaldi's in the last few minutes of the episode. Overall story arc looks like okay. I will put this up, but again, they kind of talked about it in the commercial, so it's kind of spoilery. But the main guy is an alien, and he's on Earth, kind of hiding from their enemies, their shadow creatures, and he has a protector. She's there kind of against her will, kind of.
Yeah, well, he's the prince, and she's got to protect him.
Right. So that kind of whole thing was going on. Really good story mechanics of how they introduced everyone and how everybody was, how they are important to the story and stuff, and that one is Buffy, and that one is Willow, and that one is Xander, and that one is Giles, and we could kind of figure it out. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody who writes for the show has done stuff for Buffy,
or is just a giant Buffy nerd.
Fan at least. What did you think of the episode overall?
I was not very excited about Class. There was a small little spark that hoped that it would be good, but I really wasn't holding out hope, and I liked it. I think I'll unless something drastic happens, I could see watching it again and again and again.
If you take the Buffy example, it's not really made for us, right? It's made for that kind of middle teens kind of thing, and they actually even talked about that when it came out, that it was supposed to be like a teenage show.
Right, but the British teenage shows I've watched, right? I mean, there's Almost Human, and those shows are I don't know, it's something about, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was meant for a younger audience too, and I still
that was my wheelhouse though. Buffy came out when I was in that time period, right? So
but it holds up now.
It totally holds up, and I overall am really happy with it because I love Buffy so much. But I have concerns of where they can go with it. Do you have one big bad over the entire series? Because there was a portal, and they were going in and out of the portal. And
he said he'd be back.
And he said he would be back. But I think it's going to be more of each episode they have to deal with something else, and which is fine. It's what I want. You have each individual episode has their own arc, and then you have the overall arc for the whole season, and then you have the overall arc for the entire show, which is how you should do episodic television. That's how it works. My concern is it's going to get a little too teen drama stuff. I even pointed this out. I feel they made too much of an effort to make it all inclusive. This is going to sound so bad, but they have the token Hindu guy, they have the token black girl, they have the token nerd, they have the token gay guy, they have the token Russian guy. It's like and then one of the moms has got a handicap, and I jokingly said, "Where's the transgender?" It's like they were making a point of putting them all in, which is fine if it makes sense. I want the story to make sense, and I'm not saying I'm opposed to that or whatever. I just doing that to do it just kind of. It seemed very obvious that we're doing this to make a point to say we're including everyone. Awesome, include everyone. Just don't throw it in our face.
Yeah, it might have felt a little throwy in your face just because it was the first episode, and so you got everybody all at once instead of discovering 3 episodes in that he's gay or her mom is handicapped. It was just everybody all at once.
Like within the first half hour, we knew. Here's all the archetypes that we have to fulfill. Oh, by the way, here's the big bad at the end. So I think I like the episode. I think I want to watch some more. It'll be something that we DVR. I don't know if it's something that I want to
own,
appointment watch kind of thing. Doctor Who is obviously I've got the Doctor Who freaking on my arm. But I don't know if it's just that one of those. We'll DVR it, we'll binge it on a Saturday afternoon or something like that. That's where I'm at right now. But I'll give it 3 episodes and see where we're at.
Yeah, maybe we can do it like we did this time and maybe talk about it. And if that's not working out, then we'll just DVR the rest of it.
Yep. We'll at least try to do once a week with the Doctor Who episodes, even if it's not on a Sunday. The shows are on Saturday. We'll try to do the rundown on Sundays, but it doesn't always work because we've got stuff to do on the weekends. So what do you guys think? Did you like the new Doctor Who? Do you like Bill? I think I'm gonna like Bill. What do you guys think of Class? Does it remind you of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Let us know. Like this video. Leave a comment. Give us your interpretation of what Doctor Who was and what Class is. You can also get a hold of us on Facebook at Pop Culture Cult. We're on Instagram at Pop Culture Cult 1, and we're on the Twitters at Pop_Cult1. And if you do this right here, subscribe. And this right here is the Last Jedi trailer, the trailer reaction that we did. And until next time, good night now.